The knock came when Clara wasn't expecting anyone. She froze in the middle of her living room, clutching a plastic bowl of soaked Gary like it was evidence of a crime. Around her, chaos sat comfortably. Clothes were scattered on the sofa like tourists who had missed their flight. A lonely banana peel rested on the TV stand. Chin-chin crumbs formed a map on the carpet, and 2 CR wraps were tucked beneath the coffee table like they were taking a nap. From the kitchen came a faint scratching sound, quick, bold, and familiar. "Not again," Clara hissed under her breath. That rat had been living rent-free for weeks. Then came another knock, gentle, firm, too polite to ignore. "Clara, it's David." Her heart did a soft somersault. David, her colleague, always neat, always smelling like soap and calm confidence. The same David who sent her good morning every single day, never missing a beat. He was the type of man who made an ordinary sentence sound like a warm blanket. "Clara," he called again. "I was passing by. Thought to check on you. Small surprise." She whispered in panic. "Surprise? In this war zone?" And rushed to the mirror by the door. "Face fine. Wig laid. The blouse is still sharp," she muttered. She always made sure to look perfect when she stepped outside. But right now, inside was a different story. "1 minute!" she shouted, already moving like someone fighting time. She kicked the suya wraps under the chair, grabbed a heap of clothes, dragged them to the bedroom, and shut the door with her hip. That was when a cockroach decided to casually walk across the wall like it owned the house. Clara grabbed a slipper, swung and missed. "He no go better for you," she hissed, forcing a bright smile onto her face as she opened the door. David stood there in a blue shirt and dark jeans, holding a small nylon bag. His smile was soft, easy, the kind that made people feel safe. "I brought Puff Puff," he said cheerfully. "From that woman near the junction, the one who fries like she's on a mission." "Ah, you're too sweet," Clara said quickly. "Come in." But the moment David stepped into the living room, something shifted. His smile paused, not gone, but slow like a song skipping a beat. His eyes moved around the room, sofa, floor, TV stand, and Clara could almost hear him noticing everything she wanted to hide. He didn't say a word, but his silence spoke too loudly. "My cleaner didn't come this week," Clara blurted out. Traffic held her in mile 2. Can you imagine? She forced out a laugh that sounded too high. "Sit down." But David didn't sit. His gaze landed on the banana peel, then on the puff puff in his hand, as if it suddenly needed sanitizer. "Ah," he said softly, stepping back. "I just remembered I need to pick something for my cousin at New Haven Estate." "So soon?" she asked, her voice too bright, too hopeful. He nodded politely. "We'll talk tomorrow." The door closed. He hadn't forgotten it. He had simply left, with it, and with a piece of her hope. For a long moment, Clara stood in silence, surrounded by everything she didn't want anyone to see. Then her phone buzzed. Her heart jumped. "David?" "No." The message glowed cold on her screen. "Prepaid meter low balance." She let out a long hiss and started moving slowly around the room, picking up cups, stacking plates, pushing wrappers into a black trash bag. Through the window, the Enugu evening stretched itself wide and warm. The sky wore soft pink and orange. Children downstairs chased a football and screamed goal, like they were in the Champions League final. The street smelled of fried plantain and rain. The world outside was neat. Inside her apartment, everything screamed for help. The scratching near the kitchen started again, louder this time. Clara clapped her hands. "Hey, what's that?" she barked. The sound paused, then shifted toward the cupboard where she stored wigs and other personal items. That cupboard had been swollen and refused to close properly for a month. She promised to fix it last Saturday, then Sunday, then next week. Her phone buzzed again. A message from Lisa. "Babe, we're chilling at Polo Park." "Where are you?" "Home." "Tired." Clara typed back. "You and at your house nobody can visit. One day I'll just show up." Lisa teased. Clara looked around. Her desk at work was always spotless. Her clothes were always ironed. Her makeup was always perfect. But her house was the one place she let go of everything. It was her little secret. "I'll sweep tomorrow," she whispered. Her favorite lie? That night, she lay on her bed, replaying David's frozen smile over and over. She told herself he really had an errand, that it didn't mean anything, but the heaviness in her chest said otherwise. Sleep came in short, broken pieces. Twice, she woke to scratching sounds from the kitchen. Once she saw a shadow near the wardrobe. She told herself it was nothing, but she knew it wasn't nothing. The next morning at work, David felt miles away. He didn't come to her desk like he used to. No jokes, no sunshine message, just a polite gnaw that cut her like a paper blade. "What's wrong?" Lisa nudged her during lunch. "You look like someone poured cold water on your spirit." "Nothing. Just tired," Clara answered too quickly. But in her heart, a thought spun round and round like a stuck fan. He saw. He knows. That evening, the smell of damp hit her nose as soon as she opened her door. Then she heard it ripping, not soft, loud, coming from the cupboard. Enough was enough. She tied a scarf around her head like a soldier going to war, marched to the cupboard, and yanked it open. A fat gray rat jumped out like a landlord who had paid rent. Clara screamed, stumbled back, then grabbed a broom, but it had already disappeared behind the gas cylinder. She bent down to see the damage. Her fingers touched something soft and chewed. She pulled out slowly. Her international passport. Her brand new passport for the company's December trip to Dubai. Page 3 was intact. Page 4 had a hole. Another page was covered with bite marks. "No, no, no," she cried. She reached for her wigs. 2 expensive lace fronts she'd saved up for months to buy. Torn. Shredded like old paper. The rat hadn't just visited. It had feasted. She sank to the floor, holding the chewed passport and ruined wigs in silence. Outside, Enugu buzzed with life. Inside, only the soft squeak of tiny feet answered her. Her phone buzzed again. A message from HR. Reminder, passport submission closes Friday for Dubai travel. No delays. She pressed the chewed passport to her chest and screamed until her throat burned. The next day, she stood in line at the immigration office. The officer flipped through her passport, frowned, and looked at her like he'd seen everything before. "Madam," this one Don finished, "you need police report and new application. I have an office trip to Dubai next week," she pleaded. "Please, it's urgent." The officer shook his head slowly. Earliest 6 weeks. Her stomach dropped. Her dream trip. Her promotion opportunity. Gone in seconds. HR confirmed it. She couldn't travel. Someone else would go instead. By evening, the story had already spread to the neighborhood like dry harmattan wind. "Did you hear?" Mama Ada whispered to the plantain seller. "Fine dress, but no travel. Rat chopper passport." "She go learn," the seller replied, laughing softly. "Fine perfume, no-go cover smell forever." That night, Clara cleaned like her life depended on it. She scrubbed the floor till her knees hurt. She carried out bags of trash. She mopped. She wiped every corner. There was no tomorrow anymore. But as she cleaned, the weight of what she lost pressed on her chest. David's silence. The Dubai trip. Her own self-respect. Lisa showed up the next day with a small cooler of jollof rice. She stepped into the now-clean living room and looked around. "Babe," she said softly, "this place looks beautiful now. But you look like someone carrying a storm in their heart." Clara told her everything. The rat, the passport, David. Her voice shook only once, but that was enough. Lisa held her hand and said, "You always look perfect outside, but home is where life gives you the real exam. You can spray perfume for the world, but you can't perfume your secrets." The words cut deep, but they lit a fire too. That night, Clara sat cross-legged on her clean floor with a plain notebook in front of her. She wrote like someone finally telling the truth. No more tomorrow. Clean as you go, not as you regret. Welcome people in. Respect the space that keeps you alive. For the first time, her house felt like a home, not a hiding place. The scratching behind the cupboard was gone. Only the soft hum of the night filled the room. 2 weeks later, the city woke to a gentle sunrise. Clara opened her window and let the cool morning air wash through her spotless living room. The lemon scent of polish filled the air. No wrappers, no dirty dishes, no hidden chaos. She wore a simple wrapper and sipped ginger tea, feeling lighter than she had in years. She wasn't preparing for the world. She was living for herself. Then came a familiar voice from the corridor. Clara. She turned. David stood at her door again. Blue shirt, a small cake box in his hand, a shy smile on his lips. I was in the neighborhood, he said softly. Thought to check on you, if that's okay. For a second, Clara remembered the night he walked away, but she smiled, opened the door wide, and said, Come in. David stepped in and paused like before. But this time, his eyes widened for a completely different reason. Wow, he said quietly. This place is beautiful. Clara laughed, a real easy laugh. It was always supposed to be. I just forgot to respect it. They sat together, drinking tea and eating cake. For the first time, Clara didn't have to hide a single corner of her life. A week later at work, her manager called her in. Clara, there's another big project, this time in Abuja. After how you handled the setback, we trust you to lead. Her heart soared. Thank you, sir. I won't disappoint. On her way home, neighbors greeted her with real warmth. Mama Ada even stopped her. Your house smells like heaven these days, the old woman said. Clara smiled. It finally matches my perfume. That evening, David called. About that dinner we postponed, are you free tomorrow? Clara looked around her clean, peaceful home. Yes, she said softly. I'm free. As the sun set, she leaned on her balcony and watched the city lights flicker to life. The chewed passport lay safely in a drawer, not as a wound, but as a reminder the night everything changed. She wasn't living for tomorrow anymore. She was living in a home that reflected her worth. Moral of the story. True beauty doesn't start from the mirror. It starts from the corners of your life that no one sees. Clara learned that fine clothes and sweet perfume can't cover neglect. When she stopped hiding her mess and faced it, she didn't just get a clean house. She got her confidence back, her peace, her dignity, and a fresh start.